like this. I 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 like this.
Oh, shuck it, duck it. Oh, Lord, Lord. We got a whole full crew tonight. Y'all get on your phone and share. We even got Jimmy J in the house tonight.
That old rowdy Jimmy J is back.
Jimmy J and Sandra, we are in trouble tonight.
I'm gonna start us off. I'm gonna introduce who I am, and then y'all can introduce yourself, and then you come back to me, and I'll get it on Mr. Floyd Griffin started. I'm Charlie Brown, the good-looking guy in Savannah, Georgia.
That was a lie, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Mars.
I'm Mars Pollitt, Mr. Can Paul. Thank you.
I'm Chandra McKeithen from Houston. Well, not from Houston, but I'm in Houston.
Okay.
Bernard, I don't know why you're muted, but your mic is not working. You might have to go out and come back in.
He
Jay Jones, your mic mute too?
Nope.
Both of y'all have no signal. I mean no
audio.
Go out, Bernard, and come back in.
We can go ahead, Julius, while they're trying to get it right, and tell them who you are. We know who you are, and then we can get
Yes, Mr. Morris Pollitt, representative from Can Park. They call me Mr. Mo.
Oh, okay. We already did
nice to meet you.
My mind bad. My mind bad. Okay. We got Jay Jones, former Commissioner Jay Jones, Jimmy J. He'll be back. And we got Mr. Bernard Brown. He'll be back in a minute. But Mr. Floyd Griffin, I'm Julius Hall. Nice to meet you, sir. I was on the other night with you, but my signal was up. The ATR signal was up, but it wasn't I wasn't there. Bernard, you got audio now?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Let me see about Jimmy J. Jimmy J, you got audio?
Testing, 1, 2. Testing, 1,
Good.
2. All right. Bernard, because you be at dark time, nighttime, all that other good stuff, I'm gonna let you go first because I got a grand introduction here. I know Chandra gonna love it.
Hey, I'll say, hey, I'm Bernard Brown from Marietta, Georgia, America, and welcome y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey, for the good people, Mr. Floyd Griffin, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you, my brother. All right, I am Jimmy J. I am the GoFundMe campaign starter for Charlie Brown. Nothing has stopped. We got about 50 cents in that GoFundMe account, and we gonna keep pushing, and pushing till we can't push no more.
No, I ain't being long.
Jimmy J, appreciate that.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Griffin, Mr. Griffin, thank you for being here tonight. I want you to tell us a little bit who you are. Give us a little spill on your resume, and it's a two-part. And I'm not gonna come back. I'm getting the feedback on one.
Does somebody have two devices on? That usually
Okay.
on.
Okay. Well, can you hear me? Okay.
I can.
It's Jay Jones.
Mr. Griffin.
I muted him.
Mr. Griffin.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna give you a two-parter. Give us a little, your resume, who you are, and the second part of that is tell me why you're the right candidate for that position. Okay? So take your time and take you about 5 or 6, 7 minutes and explain it to us.
Okay, well, I'm going to well, first of all, let me thank you all for inviting me to be on the show tonight, because this is very important for candidates, and especially this candidate, to have an opportunity to touch and feel the voters out there, because it's this is a big state, and we need these kinds of opportunities. But let me just tell you a little bit about myself, and it's at a point where I won't be able to tell you everything, so you can go to my website, floydforgeorgia.com, floydforgeorgia.com, and if you don't get enough there, you can Google me. Okay. Now, my name is Floyd L. Griffin Jr. from Milledgeville, Georgia, the old capital of Georgia. Right. I grew up there and attended the public schools there, and at the time, things were segregated. And my parents were business people, and I worked with my father from early age until I went off to college. I attended Tuskegee Institute at that time, which is Tuskegee University. I was very much involved in the student life at Tuskegee, and especially the civil rights movement. I was there in the 60s, early 60s, and participated in the civil rights movement, participated in the election process. Matter of fact, the first student that was killed in the civil rights movement was a classmate of mine and a good friend, Sammy Young. Sammy was worked with SNCC, and at the same time he was a student, and he was killed by owner of a gas station. And I never forget that. That was January the 4th, 1966. We had just gotten back off of Christmas holidays. After Tuskegee, I received a second lieutenant commission in the Army. And I went in the Army and spent 23 years. I retired as a full bird colonel. Some of the things I did while I was in the Army, I was a helicopter pilot. I flew helicopters in Vietnam and Also commanded an engineer unit in Vietnam. Some of my major assignments, and those of you from down in South Georgia and especially Hinesville area, you'll like this because I commanded a battalion, an engineer battalion over at Fort Stewart under General Norman Schwarzkopf.
Wow.
Yep. I spent 2 years doing that and got very familiar with South Georgia because my battalion was involved in a lot of domestic action type of activities off post because we were a construction outfit. Matter of fact, I built the Boy Scout camp down in Darien for the local Boy Scout region there. Also, I served at the Pentagon, a very important job. I ran $1 billion program across the Army's world. I was somewhere in the Army's world almost every week. Another very important assignment I had, I was assigned to an ROTC position at Wake Forest University, the first Black to serve in the ROTC program. And at the same time, I started an ROTC program over at Winston-Salem State University.
Wow.
So I was the director. I used to work at both universities. And to go a little bit deeper than that, I had the opportunity to coach football as an assistant coach. I volunteered to coach the offensive backfield at Winston-Salem State University. We went 2 years undefeated in the regular season and won 2 championships. And by the way, I'm in the Winston-Salem State University Big House Game Hall of Fame as an assistant football coach. And let me back up to Tuskegee. I'm also in the ROTC Hall of Fame at Tuskegee. Now let me move along a little bit quicker here. What else do I want to cover?
No, just take your time. I appreciate the story you're sharing with us.
Well, I'm sharing.
It's giving our audience a broad view of some of your versatile and things you could do. But go ahead. I appreciate it.
Well, and I appreciate you allowing me to do this because all this is telling you why I am the best qualified person to be the Secretary of State. Let me see here. I retired from the Army in 1990 after serving 23 years. Now, the Army sent me off to get a master's degree, and I went through all of the Army's major schools, like the Army Command and General Staff College and the National War College. The National War College is the highest level school that a Army officer can go through, and you can't make general officer unless you've gone through one of the war colleges. And I went through the National War College and studied grand strategy. After retiring from the Army, I did something, Brother Brown, since you have family in Milledgeville. When I left Milledgeville going off to Tuskegee, I said I would never return to Milledgeville and live. And I learned very quickly to never say never.
How great.
Okay? Now, one reason I moved back to Milledgeville, my family was in the funeral service business. And they went in the funeral service business when I was at Tuskegee. Bought this funeral home, which had gone down to almost nothing, and built it up where it's the #1 funeral home in the area. The funeral home was Slater's funeral home. Slater started the funeral home. The funeral home has been around over 100 years.
Wow.
And my family owned it for about over 50 years. I ended up being the co-owner with my sister after my parents died. I was the president and the CEO. until we sold the business in 2017. I went into retirement. I said never. I'm not going to get involved in anything else. I'm going to enjoy my wife, my grandchildren, and family, and be involved in some things which I have been. Now, while in Milledgeville, I have served on 3 college board of trustees: Georgia College, Georgia Military College, and my alma mater, Tuskegee University. I have also served on a national board, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in Washington, D.C. Just a little bit about some of my accolades. I'm a history maker, inducted in the National History Makers in Chicago.
Wow.
In, I think, 2003. And my oral history is in the Library of Congress, along with the other history makers. When I retired from the business, I donated all of my professional papers, business papers, military papers, and personal papers to Georgia College and State University's special collections in their library. It's in there now. And they have a display in their little museum about Floyd Griffin. Lastly, I have in February this year, during Black History Month, the city of Milledgeville named a street after me.
Wow.
And a plaza, a
Wow.
Black History Plaza. Black Heritage Plaza. Now, there's a little history behind that. I won't go into all of that. And
No, that's good. Because you was mayor too, right? You gonna tell us about that?
Yes, yeah. I haven't gotten all of that. I was not only the mayor, I was the first senator. I was the first African-American senator to be elected in the 25th district. And on top of that, I was the first African-American legislator to be elected in a majority white rural district.
Wow.
The 25th district was a white district. When I served in the Georgia Senate, I was the only African-American who in the Senate who represented a majority white district. And then when I was elected the mayor of Milledgeville, I was the first African-American mayor of the old capital city of Milledgeville.
How many terms was you mayor? 4 years?
One term. 4 years. And I was the state senator for 2 years, and I left the state Senate to run for lieutenant governor, which I did in 1998. So, I have been ballot tested.
I can see that. So one of the reasons, why you think you right for the job?
Well,
I can see why some of the reasons, but
yeah, I just gave you my background. And my background should lead one to understand that the Secretary of State's position is a very complex position. And I look at it as a corporate level position, CEO type position. And whoever gets that position, which is going to be Floyd Griffin, you got to walk in and hit the ground running on day one, because there's so much going on over there in that Secretary of State's office. It's all messed up. And so you got to be ready. And based on my background and experience, hey man, I'm ready. Look, I came out of retirement.
You're gonna turn it all the way down because you gotta use the black.
Julia, put it on
Hey,
mute.
Julia, we don't want to hear you talk to people, man. We want to hear Mr. Griffin.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get the background out of out of the way, because I keep hearing a reverb back, and I think it's the TV in the other room where Morris is at.
And we trying to hear Mr. Griffin.
I'm sorry, Mr. Griffin. Continue,
That's
sir.
okay. Hey, man,
Because
I
Mr.
know
Griffin
what the
is
deal
real.
is.
Mr. Griffin is real interesting. I mean, this guy is truly a Renaissance man. I'm serious about that.
Well, and it sounds like he has a bunch of firsts. The
Yeah.
first. Maybe he'll be the first black Secretary of State for the state of Georgia. I don't think we ever had one, right?
We
No.
never had one, and I will be, not maybe.
Okay.
I will
Right.
be. And by the way, also, I've written 2 books. My autobiography, of somebody really interested in Floyd Griffin, go online and purchase my autobiography.
Tell him how they can do it.
And my last book I wrote 2 years ago is Life, 4 Quarters plus Overtime. Every black person need to read that book.
Thank you for sharing that information. Others got questions for you. I'm going to turn it back over to the moderator. Mr. Hall, you take it from there.
Mr. Brown got a question. He got his hands up.
My thing is this. It's a lot of, a lot of young men, a lot of young women running for office, our color. And we as voters have a big problem in this country right now is trust. It's trust. Can we trust the person that we are voting for? Can we trust what they say when they're running for office and they say this, and then when they get in office, it's a whole new different tone of what they're saying before they got in office. So what should we do to say, hey, we trust Mr. Griffin on what he said now and what he gonna do when he do win this election?
Well, you definitely should hold me accountable. But once again, you have to look at the person's background and experience and what they've done in their life. And, I just given you an overview of who I am, serving 23 years in the Army and rising to the rank of colonel. You had to have something going for you in the stand of trust and doing what you say you're going to do and so forth. The same thing in being the first black mayor and the first black senator in my district. And then on top of that, now, I also, as I stated, in the funeral business. And that is definitely a business that one must build, maintain, and continue to work on trust, continue to work on working with people and treating them fairly and so forth. So the only thing I can say, Brother Brown, is look at my background, my experience, and who I am. Now, one other thing. See, I'm coming out of retirement to do this. And the reason I'm coming out of retirement to do this, I think that this is the time, this is our time for Secretary of State. Mm-hmm. And I think that a Democrat can win the general election, the right Democrat. So if that's the case, why don't we have a black person running for Secretary of State who can win that position? So if that's the case, then it should be Floyd Griffin. Okay. Right. So, that's about the way I see it from you trusting me. And then you can go around the state and you can come to Milledgeville, or you can go in South Georgia, go down in Savannah and talk to the funeral home people down there, and they can tell you about me. Talk to some of your legislators who I served with in the legislature.
Okay, we got Mr. Barbie. He's an elected official here, and he says, reminding to hold him accountable by text, email, and call his office. When we call, are you gonna answer?
True. Well, I'm not gonna promise I'm gonna answer, but I'm gonna return your call. I'm gonna return your call if you call and leave a message.
Okay. Well, you got a whole lot of firsts in you. So We do need to get rid of all these firsts in the South. First, every time it's the first. Even if I'm running for mayor, if I'm elected mayor here, when I'm elected mayor here, I'll be the first black mayor of this city. And so we got to get rid of all these firsts. So we need to get them on out the way, and then we'll be through with it. We got to worry about being first no more. The first,
absolutely. And speaking of that, brother Hall, I'm going to only want to serve in this position 1 year. I mean, 1 term. But at the same time, I want to find someone that I can groom to run for that office. Now, one of the first things that I do when I become Secretary of State, I will appoint a female to be my Deputy Secretary of State. Okay. So, and there's a reason behind that. I'm not going to go into that tonight.
You're gonna pick the most qualified person, but it'll be a female. And it don't necessarily have to be black, but it will be a qualified female.
Well, it's definitely going to. Okay, some of the qualification I look for, I would like to find someone. Now, these are, this is the top of the line. I may not be able to get there, but I like to have someone with legislative experience, or a governmental experience, being a mayor, or a county commissioner, city council person. I'll maybe have some background, and that person must be a young person, at least in their no more than in their 50s, maybe early 60s, but in their 50s. They got to be much younger than I am, because one of the things that that person is going to be my wing person. Okay, you know what I mean when you say your wing person.
Yeah,
somebody I can trust, someone that can help me get things done. Okay.
Well, you got a prime candidate on this platform right now, sitting right there under you.
Well, it depends on how well she gonna treat me tonight.
There she go right there, prime candidate.
You notice I have not. I've been very calm, and I hadn't beaten up on you yet. However, since I am speaking, you know that the Secretary of State's, they do more than voters.
Yes.
Voting, and I'm big on business development and business.
Right.
What are you going to do to increase business? And more specifically, what are you going to do to increase Black business ownership in the state of Georgia?
Well, that's a very good question, and I'm not sure if I have, right up front, right at this point in time, I'm not sure if I have an answer that will really satisfy you. But one of the things that I'm going to do is set up a small, in this case, a small business roundtable. Okay, appoint some people to that roundtable to help me with coming up with ideas and programs and some of the problems that are in small business. See, I was in small business myself, so I understand that piece. Then I'm going to work with the State Chamber of Commerce. I am going to become a member. Now, I was a member of my local Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to become a member of the State Chamber of Commerce and the Black Chamber of Commerce, where I can try to work with them to help come up with ideas and look at the programs out there. And I work with the Small Business Administration. Now, the Secretary of State has certain responsibilities over certain businesses, but they are not in the business of going out creating jobs, creating jobs and creating new businesses. But I will work to do what I can with those organizations that are there. Right,
but you will make it easy for them to to file the 501(c)(3)s, not 501(c)(3)s, anything to do with dealing with licensing,
Oh,
make
yes,
it a little bit
absolutely.
mobile for them so they can, be a part of the player, because a lot of them don't know how to exactly do it the correct way.
Well, oh yeah, we definitely would do that because put in the programs. I'm not sure what they have in place now, and see
Right.
that'll be a part of what I would call my own boarding. When I come in and go around and start getting briefings and so forth from the different divisions and asking the right questions, which I know to ask and make that determination. So, oh yeah, if there are, okay, look, let me tell y'all something that I learned a long time ago. I don't believe in problems. I believe in issues. And I believe in a challenge, okay? If it's a challenge, it's on my back. If I can't solve it, then it's a problem, okay? So people come to me with an issue, and if it's an issue that I can work with, then it becomes my challenge. And when I say my organization, the staff, and so forth, and then we'll solve that. If we can't solve it, if I got to give it to somebody else, then it becomes a problem then.
Okay. Thank you. Morris, you want to ask him a question?
Can't hear him. Can't hear him.
Then I'll swing it back over to you, Jew.
Jay Jones. Let me mute that phone. Jay Jones, do you have any questions, sir?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No. I know how to get Mr. Griffin if I need to get to him.
Okay.
He got to me last week also.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Mr. Pollard got a question there. He went back mute. He's on a laptop. Y'all had it on mute, but now you got it muted again. Okay, there you go. Let me see if I can unmute him.
you keep.
We just got he's having a little technical problem. I know he had a question for you.
Well,
Okay,
let
there
me
you
move
go.
on to another question.
There you go.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You
So-
How do you
unmuted.
plan on dealing with the voter suppression issue that we have in the state of Georgia?
Okay, I didn't hear the first part of the question.
I said, how do you plan on dealing with
Okay.
the voter suppression issue that we have in the state of Georgia?
Well, that's a very good question. And I can't answer that question right now because I don't know exactly what the voter suppression issues are going to be, a year from now, in the extent that I think there are 3 lawsuits going on in Georgia, plus the justice, the U.S. Justice Department lawsuit. Those could make a major change. Then we had the John Lewis Act and For the People Act. So I'm going to have to really wait and see what's going to shake out of all of that before I can start making any particular promises of what I can do for something that may not take place. Now, I'm going to tell you what I can, what I need to do, and other individuals running for office, and those people who work in the election process. We need to right now start getting our people to be able to work around those areas that are suppressing the votes that was in Senate Bill 202 that's now law. I have spent several meetings with county superintendents of elections, and even one today, trying to get a handle on how they're going to deal with some of those issues. Now, I would think sometime before this year is over, I will have a better handle on where we'll go with voter suppression. But as the Secretary of State, I'm going to have to carry out the law and to make sure that the voting process is fair, is simple, and as easy as it can be. Yes, sir. Ms. Brown?
Mr.
Now, I was going to give Paula an opportunity to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Mr. Griffin, my question would be, do you believe that your age restricts you in any kind of way?
Good question.
It's a very good question, and obviously that is something that that I had to take under consideration, and I have. But let me say that I may be 77, but I feel and think like I'm 47. My experiences and progressive thinking out of the box weighs in my concerns for anyone who may think that my age is a problem. Now, let me lay one other thing out there. When people ask me that, and especially if they are voters and they voted in the last election, my question is, if you're a Democrat, if you voted for Joe Biden, or if you voted for Bernie Sanders, or if you're a Republican and you voted for Donald Trump, then you shouldn't be asking me that question.
You don't look. I didn't know you were 77. You 77 years old?
I am 77 years old.
You don't look 77.
77 years old. And let me say one other thing about that.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the military, and especially as a helicopter pilot, I had to take a physical exam every year. And it was not just a little old run-in with a doctor, take that little stereoscope or whatever and check you out. It went deep. So since that time, I make sure every year during my birth month that I have a physical exam, which is the month of May. And by the way, the primary election is on the 24th of May, which is my birthday. Okay, so y'all remember that. Give me a birthday present.
Hey, Mr. Griffin, my birthday is May 23rd, man.
Jay Jones, I did not know that.
Yep. So
Miss Brown's birthday is the 23rd as well.
I knew Miss Brown's birthday was the 23rd.
Go ahead, back to Mr. Griffin.
Well, I give y'all a birthday present on the 23rd if you give me one on the 24th. Okay.
You got it.
But the last thing I want to say about my age, I had my physical exams in May. Clean belt. I don't have any major problems. I got a couple of bad knees from the military, but that's about it.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else got any questions?
Well, I got this. I'll be 59 years old next week, so I'll have.
You look every bit of it.
August 13th.
And if I shave my beard off, I look like I'm about 20 or 30 years old, man.
Okay. Go ahead and keep it. Hey, that gray beard looks good. Go ahead and keep it. At least you're keeping it gray. At least you're keeping it gray. I gotta keep mine black. So we good.
Don't worry. One day.
You want to give us some information about how they can contact you? You want to give appeal for some donations?
Yes.
Please give us that information so it can get out to the people.
Okay. The best way to contact me is is go on my website, Floyd Griffin, FloydForGeorgia.com. And on that website is a link where you can donate. And we are using the Democratic Party's
Act Blue.
format, Act Blue. Or you can, you can give me a call. My phone number is, what is my number? 478-451-9803. That's my
Say
cell
it one
phone
more
number.
time, please.
478-451-9803. My personal email is F as in Floyd, L as in Lee, Griff, GRIFF 52@gmail.com.
Okay.
Great information.
And and it seems like you have an impressive. You do have an impressive background and an impressive resume. A couple of weeks ago we had the John Eves on that is also running for. He's a African American that's running for Secretary of State also. I would love to have you after Jay Jones and have you all on. I don't know whether he's going to be doing a debate type or whether he's going to be doing just a panel discussion. But after y'all get through with Jimmy J there, Commissioner Jones, we would love to have y'all on to have that discussion so everybody can just take a clean look at all of the candidates running on this side of the ticket,
And I think, Julius, what I like about Mr. Griffin, to be perfectly honest with you, the guy showed up for leadership, not because I'm prior military, because I am. I've been in the Army, and I know what you're talking about going to school. The Army do prepare you not only for the Army, for the real life when you get out. So you definitely got leadership going, and that office can stand restructure. You are the man I think can go in there and do a great job. So it just give me great pleasure to sit in here today with you. You giving your appeal to the people. They're getting to hear what you have done and your capability. Again, thank you so much for Charlie Brown to you.
And this is Jimmy J putting out a plug for the GoFundMe account for Charlie Brown. We're trying to raise capital for Charlie Brown and whatever endeavors he wants to do. 90% of the proceeds will not go to Charlie Brown. It'll go to all his endeavors he wants to put out in this world. Thank y'all.
Charlie Brown for Mayor Savannah. Charlie Brown for Mayor Savannah.
Jay, I would like to make a $2 donation in the campaign of Mr. $2.
$2 to Charlie Brown.
Oh,
you need to make that campaign contribution to Brother Adam, Brother Floyd Griffin. Is where you need to have that.
I'll take $2. I'll take $2. I'll take $1.
He'll take $2 from 100,000 people.
Mr. Floyd, please don't rob Charlie Brown of $2. Please let it stay where it's at. Thank you, sir.
We're going to him with our music.
Yeah, we don't need to get our community to start donating to these campaigns because we can't put people in office and have them compete unless we fund it. And I haven't had a real hard time with it because I have so many people that are my friends that have donated. I'm still waiting on 2 of them on this panel. 3 of them. Yeah, it's one of them on this panel that has given. I don't know about the other 3 I'm waiting on. So sometimes it's your friends. You got to get that nod to.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah.
I have finally turned the corner, Jew. So now I'm free to give.
Okay. See, you can say. I tell you what I want you to do.
So two like me and you.
Yeah, ain't but one, and it's his initials MP that gave. Well, Mr. Griffin,
Yes,
This
sir.
is what I want Sandra to do. I want Sandra to give
$50 to Mr. Griffin and
$50 of
150
my
to you.
money to your campaign.
All right, Mr. Griffin,
Yes, ma'am.
put your information, because I wasn't really paying attention. What's the information again?
One more time.
Okay, my website is floydforgeorgia.com. You know, www.floydforgeorgia.com. And on that,
Georgia,
y'all
GA?
need to read
GA?
that the website that's got all my background, a lot of good stuff. But my donation link is there.
So is it GA or Georgia spelled out?
Spelled out. I'm sorry. Everything's spelled out. You checking it out?
I'm writing it right now.
Okay, you see that good looking, guy popped up in you, and he looked just like me, doesn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yep, I see.
That's it right there.
Hey, Mr. Griffin.
You see?
Yeah.
Hey, it was nice meeting you, Mr. Griffin, and I feel like you are very, you're gonna win this election, and I appreciate it. Reason why I'm saying this, I got another meeting at 8 o'clock for the sponsorship that I'm trying to get for ATR. Hey, I love y'all, and Mr. Griffin, I want you to come on America After Dark and drop
No,
and you'll be okay. And Jules to give you the information, America After Dark at 10:30 Friday, and you can come on, and if you want plenty of votes, you come on America After Dark. You can cut a leg. And I love y'all. And I'll see y'all later.
All right, Bernard.
Send me an invite. Send me an invite, and I'll be there.
Mr. Griffin, you do not want to go on that.
I don't want to go on there.
No.
Son, don't tell Mr. Griffin that, because After Dark got a strange bunch of voters out there, Mr. Griffin. I mean, they're strange now.
They may be after dark, but they come out the light to vote.
That's right.
Hey, as long as they come out and vote, man.
I got it.
We'll give you shout outs on that show. We'll just give you shout outs.
Okay.
Or if he comes on, Sandra, you would probably have to.
I would have to not be on that night.
Not to be on that night, and then have to clean the version up a little bit.
Hey, what did Cecilia Cook say? Can you post what she said? Oh yeah, that's it right there. I want to make sure Charlie saw that. We gained some traction, Charlie.
Okay, we're gonna donate to Charlie's fund, and we're gonna donate to Mr. Griffin's fund, and we're gonna get both of them what they need. That's what we're gonna do. But Mr. Griffin, you are free to come back here and be on our show at any time that you want to pop in for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Charlie Brown will be right here. Sandra's here. This is Sandra's real good day on Wednesday. You don't want to see her on Friday on America at the Dark, and then she got her own show starting in a couple of months. What's the name of that show?
Let's talk.
Let's talk. I thought it was We Need to Talk.
We need to talk.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we need to talk.
Yeah, so she got a show coming out in a couple of weeks called We Need to Talk. And so
all I'm gonna say, Mr. Griffin, you gotta go around as many places in Georgia as possible. You don't have the name recognition, but after the night, the view's going to spread, be like a bad refrigerator. It's going to spread your name. Floyd Griffin from Milledgeville, Georgia.
And we need to have some of our constitutional officers outside of the Atlanta metro area. Okay, and Floyd Griffin is outside of the Atlanta metro area.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We can't have everybody that lives in Atlanta. We need some people out there that represent the whole state.
That's correct. That's correct. We had one question. I don't know whether you answered it or not, but uh, Councilman Barbie wanted to know what's your number one goal you want to complete as Secretary of State? The number one goal.
My number one goal is to make elections fair, easy, and everybody want to go to the polls and vote because it's not a hassle. That is my number one goal.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to find out where that noise is coming from. Okay, so that's your number one goal. So you answered
Yes.
this question, and we know where we can send money. We know where we can give that look at your website. So y'all go to www.floydforgeorgia.com. You'll be able to get Mr. Floyd Griffin. He has an impressive resume.
He does.
I'm just happy that we got a great number of Democrats running at this time for this particular seat. And we're going to challenge them across the board for all of the seats, from Labor Commission to the governor's seat. I haven't heard anybody announce yet for governor, and that's what we need to do. I don't know why they're waiting. There's no sense in waiting. You got to start early. They're going with that old time politics, and old time politics will get you nothing but second place. You got to get in with the new, because the new is what's happening now. You got to start early. You got to knock on doors. You got to make phone calls. You got to be on those corners. You got to talk to people. You got to go to the supermarkets. You got to do all these things. Signs don't vote, but they do influence. And I learned that from my mentor to your left right there. My mentor. He taught me a lot, but he's a little antiquated. So I take what he taught me and I put it on steroids. And now I'm the number one guy in the state of Georgia.
Julius, you got a point. You got a point you're sharing, Mr. Griffin. And I think what's happening is traditional Labor Day weekend. A lot of candidates like to kick off their campaign Labor Day weekend. That is the major time to kick it off. But you can't wait till Labor Day. You're doing the right thing now by being on these shows, getting the word out. Be like a bad refrigerator. Don't keep nothing. Let people know exactly your qualification, and you're doing just that.
And Mr. Griffin, I want to put this out here. My mentor, Charlie Brown, told me this one thing right here. People fail for two reasons: lack of information, lack of knowledge. And understanding, if you have the information and the knowledge, you can be successful in this world.
That's right.
And we have a GoFundMe account for that young man, and we're going to make sure 90% of those proceeds go out here to where we need to put it out in the community.
Right.
Mr. Griffin, they can't help themselves.
Now, the next time I come on, I would appreciate it if y'all just call me Floyd instead of Mr. Griffin.
Yeah, we're going to just call you Mayor Floyd, Mayor Griffin. We're going to call you that, because everybody.
Hey, look, you can call me Mayor. You can call me Senator. You can call me Colonel, or you can just call me Floyd.
Okay. Don't call you Late Heat like Charlie Brown don't want to be called Late Heat.
Jay, I'll be down in Savannah Saturday and Sunday morning.
Call me, man. Let me know what you need.
We will call you Floyd, but one of the reasons we're just giving you the utmost respect, because for the fact some of your accomplishment and what you have done, you deserve the respect. And that's all. That's why we put Mr. on it. But if you want to be called Floyd, I'll attempt to do it, but it's just, you deserve the respect. And thank you for serving the country too.
I'm going to call you Mayweather Senior because you're going to be knocking folk out the box.
I just got a text. And they are asking me to ask you something. They want to know, are you familiar with the Weeping Time debate here in Savannah? And if he's not, ask him, will he research it? And when he's back in Savannah, he can appear on the shows so he can tell us his position, whether he supported. I don't know whether you're familiar with the weeping time slave debate that's going on here in Savannah.
No, I don't. The person who texts that to you, will you ask him to text me the information?
Well, you'll be on their show pretty soon.
Okay. All right.
You'll be,
Hey,
they have
man,
the,
you ever heard of have gun will travel?
yes, sir.
Well, have Floyd will travel.
Okay, well,
Wow.
you're gonna be on their show pretty soon. Um, so we'll get you hooked up so you can be on their show. I'll give you the information to research the weeping time. The weeping time was the largest slave trade over a 2-day period in the history of the United States, and it happened right here in Savannah, Georgia.
They sold over 400
Now,
slaves.
now I know what you're talking about. I don't know a lot about it, but I know something about it. I understand what you're talking about.
They
Okay.
sold over 400 slaves.
Right.
So now it's a dispute that the Salvation Army has brought the property and trying to put a Salvation Army headquarters there, and the people of the community and the city and well, this county wants them to not build that building there and to put something there that's a commemorative of that event that happened. So that's what we're trying to get done. And so they wanted to know. So I asked the question. I'm sure that they are watching. So they wanted me to ask. And so be ready to answer that question and give them a position because you'll be on that show in a couple of weeks. But if you're in town on Saturday, I'm gonna see whether you can get at 12 noon. If you're not busy, you can be on the Watchdogs.
Well, I'm going to be flexible. I'm just coming down to spend a day and maybe a half with, the municipal association is having their convention. So I'm just going to be floating.
Yeah, I heard that they're having their
convention.
Yeah,
I'll be kind of floating
weekend.
around.
It's bloated.
Yeah.
Did you say bloated or loaded? Jay Jones, you going?
Oh yeah, I'll be around.
Okay. You be right there for us then. All right. So we appreciate you coming on, sir. We wanted to make sure you got your full 60 minutes. You know, we got one more hour of the show. It's been 57, 58 minutes now. Up in the left-hand corner, y'all see it. It's been 57 minutes. So we're going to give you the last 3 minutes to however long you take to give us your closing and make sure you give us everything, and we'll get with you and bring you back later on for I don't know if it'll be a debate or just be a discussion. I want people to see all of the candidates for this, and your light is shining real bright because of your impressive resume. But go ahead and give us your closing, sir.
Well, I won't take the 3 minutes. I want to thank you all for having me on. Those your viewers out there, I hope I've given you something to chew on, to determine if Floyd Griffin is the person that you want to be your Secretary of State. If you have any doubt, don't go and talk to somebody else. You call me, text me, or email me, and I give you a call and we'll talk about it. Okay? Because look, this election is about Black people and people of color, but more than Black people. I mean, more so Black people. This is an opportunity that we have to put a Black Democrat in that position. If we lose this opportunity, it's going to be a long time before this come around again. So I ask you to definitely decide on Floyd Griffin, but if it's not Floyd Griffin, then it should be another Black Democrat. Black Democrat. Okay? I'm all about blackness now because look, Black people have died. They have marched, they have fought, and done everything, and the most loyal people to the Democratic Party. Okay? So we need to get our due every so often. We shouldn't be sitting around not having qualified people in all of these races. We shouldn't just automatically let someone that's non-black go and walk in there without being challenged.
Okay.
And that's coming from an old Democrat and a person been around a long time.
Yes, sir. Give them one more time. Tell them how to reach you.
They may contact me on my website at floydforgeorgia.com. My email is flgriff52@gmail.com. My cell phone number is 478-451-9803. If you call my cell phone and I don't answer, leave a message, because I get a lot of phone calls, and some of them who be calling you. So I don't answer the phones. If it's important enough, then just leave a message and I'll call you back.
It's a car warranty. The car warranty people call a lot too about your car warranty.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
and I need somebody to do something about that.
Yeah. 3 things. Just got another text. They asked whether, I don't know why they're not doing it on the show. They want me to ask you. Because they text my phone. Say, do you think that a Democratic candidate will be stronger if Stacey Abrams was to run now? And it's funny that they text that, because Chuck said in every governor cycle in the last 20 years, we've had a candidate declared and campaigning at this point in the cycle. I don't know what the problem is, Chuck, but somebody needs to declare and come on out. They need to come on out. This is too late. I don't know if Stacey's running, she need to jump in. If she's not, she need to tell everybody. But
okay.
But that was 2 of the things about Stacey. Do you think that the ticket will be stronger for everybody to ride on that?
Well, I think we should have a well-qualified person running for governor. Okay, I'm not going to say who should run, but it should be a well-qualified person. But I'm going to tell you something else. The Secretary of State run this time around is going to be right up there with the governors from the standpoint of importance. And let me tell you one other thing why Floyd Griffin needs to be the Democratic nominee. Because Floyd Griffin can help Walnut to get the votes out. Okay? I can help him in Middle Georgia, South Georgia, and so forth, out of the metro area. So it's going to take all of us to put this thing together. But you can't take no neophyte and put them out there. Okay?
Okay.
Can't do it.
And Rebecca says, please look up what's going on with the weeping time, sir. So,
yes,
you got people watching that want you to have a say in it and have a voice in it. And, so we have warned everybody that if you're not supporting a worthy cause like protecting our heritage and our culture, then we're not going to support those people that won't speak up to defend us if they are in a position of power to do so. So that's where we at. But anyway, I appreciate you coming in, sir. We'll have you back, and I'll get with you to get you that weeping time information and to see whether Robert has scheduled anything for the show for Saturday, so we can have you on Saturday.
Okay, great.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you again.
And remember, winners make it happen.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Winners make it happen.
I like that. Winners make it happen.
And now you can
my autobiography. Go on Amazon and take a look at it.
Okay, and Saturday, have all that information ready for me so we can put it up, so we could give everybody, tell them how to get your books, and we'll have all that ready so we can go. All right.
Again, thank you so much.
And that's on my website also, my books.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you can when you log off, go to All Things Relevant Media on Facebook, and you can finish watching the show, and you'll see why we told you don't be on the second half.
Yep, because I'm about to go in just 5, 4, 3, 2.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Julius, is he gone yet?
Here you go.
Okay, when is he going to apply for Social Security? I wouldn't. I started to ask
First
you
of
that.
all, Charlie,
That was
you're being
a joke. It was one of my jokes, okay?
Charlie, Mr. Griffin is right there in the studio still.
I was
You're so
just
damn
joking.
rude. You so damn rude.
I like to have fun.
He'll be right next to your ass.
Ooh.
But
Put myself on mute.
okay, but you know, Julius, I told y'all that GBI thing, it was a gimmick just to get out in front of this news story. When that Mitzi boy got shot, here they go coming out there with a total falsehood.
Yeah.
First, they came out with a total falsehood, lied to the public, told the public that he pointed a gun at a police officer, and the police officer had to shoot him. Okay. And then WTOC went out there and gave this whole spiel about this is what the GBI said. But then they said behind that, but the GBI is still doing the investigation. And now, here we are, 4 weeks down the line, right? Has it been 4 weeks or 3 weeks? I don't know.
It's about 4.
Okay, but now they coming out with the damn truth. The hell with all of them.
Sandra, did they get a new camera?
Jay, I'm gonna let you talk in a second.
Oh, okay.
And I want to say this too. I'm gonna get right on that. But Mr. Griffin, if you're listening, it's Charlie Brown humor. I think you are completely qualified, and now I'll do anything possible to try to help you to win this race. But again, that's my sense of humor. But back to the police officer, tell the people he was a black man shooting another black man, okay? If you're going to tell it, okay? Let's not have double standard and just say it's the policeman. But still, it was another black man shooting another black man and lying about it.
Well, the point is...
The point is he was black and you didn't say that.
Well, I believe that the point was he was a police officer brandishing his power, and that and knowing that they were going to try to protect him at any cost.
Well, true.
So
what I was saying, a lot of people who had came up to me was under the impression the guy was a white guy. That's all I'm trying to say. White police who did it. Automatic.
I wouldn't give a damn if he was purple and pink.
I'll agree with you on that, but I'm saying what a lot of people were saying.
Jamal Torre, I did send you the link. You just don't see it, but I did send it to you.
Why are you banning Jamal? Why?
No, I did send the link. I sent it to him and Jay together, right, Jay?
My name's Bennett, and I ain't in it.
That's the only thing I was saying. That's the only thing I was saying. That's all.
All right, so Mo from Camp Park, what you got to say about that?
Unmute yourself.
Are you muted again? Yeah, you muted. Okay.
I know.
You know what? Technology and old people.
He's not old, okay?
Whatever you did the first time,
your mouth is worse than that other woman run like a Mississippi River. My friend is not old.
You go leave it alone now.
You know what?
Okay.
You don't know what my mouth do. You don't know what my mouth do.
Oh,
But I bet you wish you did.
Hey, anyway,
all right.
I ain't old enough for this here. I
Anyway,
ain't old enough
Charlie
for this
Brown,
here.
I ain't know enough for this show.
anyway, as a graduate of Johnny Cochran Law School, my client, Mr. Charlie Brown, does not really care about what you do with your mouth, ma'am. It is a little bit too early in the evening. Now, after 5, Mr. Brown will accommodate you with your mouth, but not right now. So,
It's 7:19 over here.
I love you, Morris. I love you, Morris.
And I just want to put the disclosure out here. That has nothing to do with the GoFundMe account with Charlie Brown. We're not substantiating any of those claims right there.
Nope.
We just want to make sure we collect the money and give 90% to anybody but Charlie.
to everything else.
This sounds like
Charlie.
America After Dark.
No. Y'all go ahead.
Can you send Dr. Torre the link,
He
please?
got the link. Dr. Torre has the link. It's a group. I sent it to him and Jay together. If Jay got it, he got to have it.
Why you worrying about the link so much? Link. Make me sick. Always worried about something.
I just want to hear what Mo got to say. That's it, man.
Go ahead, Mo.
So
What you got to say about
pertaining to the incident that happened on 4 weeks ago, I do think it's a discrepancy about covering up situations. Now, I think that we need to be more transparent and holding them guys accountable for their job, and their job is to give out the right information from the beginning. And misleading and mistrust, I don't think that's a whole truth on no level for nobody. So that counts all entities from the GBI, from the police department, from everybody. We need to be more transparent. If right is right and wrong is wrong. You know,
even the mayor, even the mayor, when he went on his little crusade to talk about, what happened and all of this type of stuff, all of them had access to the video. They done watch that damn video like a Netflix damn movie, and they know what happened. So they could have easily came back and squashed this whole thing, So I'm just, I'm done. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
You got something to say about it, Jay John?
I'm just sad that the fact that so many people tried to put this out there in the news and in the world as far as it not being as bad as it was. And then all of a sudden, now 4 weeks later, we're told the truth that the young man was moving away from the officer and was shot in the back. And so what I'm trying to gather is this: was it a secret hidden camera somewhere? The Savannah Police Department, because it's tied to Savannah, they had access to the video 4 weeks ago.
Right.
And my thing is, you could have got ahead of this conversation early on, especially if you're saying you're bringing a GBI or another entity in to investigate and do all the investigation. You already understood and knew that the truth was going to get out. Why would you wait 4 weeks to bring the truth? And that's my biggest question I got. And me and Julius, we talked about this. I think a lot of it had to do was they didn't. And Charlie, you hit it nail on the head. A lot of people would have made the assumption it was a white police officer who shot a black man in the back. Number one, and then the perception of police in America right now, and it's not. It's probably a 6 or a 5 right now when it comes to trust level within the community. And so they didn't want to outcry or outpour. So I guess that's the assumption why they suppressed the conversation. But my thing is, it goes back to what we talked about before, Chandra: transparency, accountability. If you want transparency and accountability, you want society to trust you. You got to be transparent and you got to be accountable for your actions.
Correct.
And my thing is, I understand that you had to wait for the GBI to look at it. It didn't take 4 weeks for them to tell us this.
No.
They all saw the video 4 weeks ago. They could have said, I would have much preferred at this time, we don't want to disclose any information because we want GBI to focus on this situation. They didn't say that. They said that they were shot in the front. We didn't make this up. I know somewhere I heard he was shot in the front. And then now 4 weeks later, we're changing that conversation and saying he was shot in the back. And so, I think that those are the, we don't have nowhere near as a police force, I guess, in open than in some other areas we call out. And I said, and Charlie, to defend myself, I said in open. I know we got some problems in our police department, in our police force, but it's suppressed. And because they're not held accountable, then guess what? They get away with what they can get away with.
Well, it's one of the things. It's one of the things like normally the newspaper, if it's a black man, they will say an African American, a black man shot a man. But if it's a white man, they just say an incident happened, so and so and so, and they don't put color to it. And that's what bothers me.
But Charlie, it's sad. It's sad in America when a police shoots a black man. It's automatically assumed it's a white police officer shot a black man, and so that's it. But you know what? I'm not defending that. That's a culture thing. That's a culture thing that has been put into our society, that black people are devious. We commit crimes. We do all the things under the scope.
We're aggressive.
And we're aggressive.
We attack people.
And it's automatically assumed that a white police officer is out here killing and shooting and doing all this stuff. And so what I think, Chandra, you put it, I can't even go against what you said. What you said was marvelous, because in the fact of, guess what? We got to start looking at it as the police. We got to take the terms of black and white out of it to look at it as police. Police. Because my thing is, and Mo, before you shake your head and hit me on my head, I want you to understand this. I do emphatically think that it is more white police officers killing black people than it is anywhere else in society. But in this case, because we have generalized it, and we in society has already stated, and Charlie Brown, I can only say for me, when I heard the case, I assumed it was a white officer who shot a black man. I'll tell you that straight up. If nobody else will say it, I'll say it. And it wasn't until the factors came out that said, oh man, it was a black police officer who shot black people. And the sad part about it is, Maurice, I didn't take it as serious when I found out it was a black police officer versus a white police officer. And that's what society has made us to be. And that's the sad part about society.
But
and that was my point right there, Jay. We as black men got to stop dummy downing our own life. I tell people all the time, we are the worst critics of our own self. When a black man could just brush off a death and then sweep it under the rug because Pookie shot Ray Ray. But when Billy Bob shoot Ray Ray, now we just get
we all up in
upset. We want to march. We want to burn down the stores. Hey, but these two brothers probably was friends and their mothers know each other. And now you sitting at a funeral, or one son in prison and the other son in the funeral home. Damn, we done lost two whole families off of this one situation.
Yep.
That's what I'm afraid of. We done desensitized our black men amongst ourselves. That's the problem.
And I'm gonna say this, and in the police, you have that blue wall, or the what they call it, Julius, the blue wall.
It's a blue wall of silence. And the thing is, you're right. That's the color that you need to look at when it comes to police shootings. It doesn't matter whether the person is white or black or Spanish. It's the color of the uniform.
Yes. And it's like a brotherhood. And in too many situations, I have seen, across this, in the places that I travel, where black men, police officers, they can be on the scene of something that is not right. And they will not speak up because they feel like they have more of a brotherhood with this bond of with people that's doing the wrong thing to a society, of it can be poor Black people, it can be Mexicans, it can be, some poor white people, whatever. They feel like, hey, it's us against them. We wear the uniforms and they should be doing what we say. So if we do something wrong out here, we're going to write it up to make it look right. And all of us, we're going to agree that this lie is going, we all going to agree on the lie.
Okay.
So,
well, and I mean, and Chuck said something that was real profound that we need to really look at. And
I was gonna say that.
Yeah. How many other cases would the GBI have covered up? Was it because of the DA telling them, no, y'all need to look at this again?
Would have covered up or have covered it up over the last few years?
Have covered up.
Yeah, they've been covered up for decades.
Yeah.
I think, and we don't acknowledge it as much as possible to this piece right here. Charlie Brown, me and you talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Not just our DA, District Attorney Jones, but our tax commissioner. We are finally seeing, for the first time in the history of Chatham County in a long time, starting to see sound policy, sound ordinances, sound things happen in our community that we should have had long time before, but we didn't have it because guess what? We didn't have leadership, whether Black or white, and I'm gonna go back and Black or white. We didn't have leadership who was not afraid of dealing with the backlash. Now, and Julius always says I don't do this about the next thing. I'll say this: the current mayor of the city of Savannah supported the previous DA more than the current DA that we got in office. Y'all say I don't say stuff like that. I just put it on the live chat. I just put it on the live chat. I can tell you for a fact. There's another fact I'm gonna put out there. The current DA, her budget is less than the previous DA's budget. And guess what? She was a Republican, and this current DA is a Democrat. And the chair of the party is a Democrat too. But we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about how Jenkins High School opened up and didn't have no air conditioning, and the mayor of Jenkins High School is sitting here eating noodles, and he knows that they didn't have air conditioning. We're going to talk about that too.
I cannot believe this.
What? But they're warriors. Warriors don't need air.
Warriors don't need air. Warrior, come out and play. Hey, Julius. Now, he probably came on here because I went and slick replied back to that thing saying receive, but I received all. So I wanted to make sure I didn't want to get caught up in that piece. But I replied back to you, Jamal.
You mean I need to get some fans and take over the Jenkins Warriors?
Hey,
what's going on?
Charlie Brown, he done abandoned. He got beach high colors on today. I got Working Bars colors on today. He got beach high colors on today. That's how we doing.
He run real quick when it get hot.
Charlie Brown, y'all must be forgot a couple of days ago when the man turned another year of life. He was awarded an honorary membership of Beach High School.
Congratulations!
So that's why he rock. So that's why he rocking the beach high colors.
You can see the blue and gold runs deep. Look at what I got on tonight. Look at what he has on tonight. Being Mr. Beach High School, the alumni of all alumni.
Charlie Brown looks more like a Jenkins High School graduate right now.
That he is a bulldog. He is a bulldog. He can't hide that no longer. Nobody had this understanding.
Jay, them RA colors, brother, red and black.
Yeah, red and black. Yeah,
the original. The Richard Honor what?
Eagle. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
No,
Yeah, that was the
just
Eagles.
Richard Arnold Eagle. I added the War Eagle because I was a bad
it's
boy.
Eagles.
I thought y'all the Richard Island Jayhawks or something like
I
that.
thought he
No,
said, did he say Stiegel? Did he
Vanessa,
say
I'm on the
Stiegel?
Rabble. I can't talk to you right now. I'm on the
The
Rabble
man
right now.
said,
You still be looking at the
the
Rabble. Why
man
you not
said
looking at the Rabble?
Richard Arnold buzzards. Y'all
Okay.
Oh, the
misinterpreted.
buzzards
It was the Richard Arnold buzzard.
or the
That's what it
trumpeters.
is.
The
Yeah,
trumpeters.
something like that.
We wasn't no buzzard, Paula. Cut it out, Morris.
Okay, well, we already know what the lineup for the schools is. Is that screening at the bottom of your screen? Is scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now?
Julie,
We
that's
already
not true. Why you keep putting Richard Arnold last? Because Richard Arnold was a magnet school. You didn't realize that. Yes, they were. They was the first of its kind in the state of Georgia.
You said they at the end
Look it
because of
up.
magic?
No, I didn't say magic.
It was
No,
a magic
he
school.
said the women in there danced at Magic City.
No.
Oh. Oh, I am once again not old enough for this conversation.
That's what he said.
Oh no.
The teachers and the instructors all was ex Magic City
tell you
dancers.
what.
I know them
I tell you
personally
what.
when it was at
I
Richard
tell
Arnold.
you what, do your research. I'm not going to go into it. And it will tell you the history of Richard Arnold was the first of its kind. Welders, cosmetology, all sorts of programs they had to put you in the blue collar workers back in the day. And they did away with it because of it was taking a lot of the hotel workers away from the hotel industry.
Well, you know what we really thought Richard Island was? And this is no lie now. When we was in school, we thought Richard Island was that if a girl got pregnant, her and her boyfriend had to go to that school and they had to give him a trade to get a job so he could take care of the people.
It was the teenage parenting program.
And watch this. I'm about 10 years behind him, and I ain't even gonna tell you what we thought Richard Arnold was.
Well, you can say what you wanna because you look at a lot of the individuals, Terry Talbot, who run EOA. You look at Judy Talbot, who was the chief of policeman at a time. She's with the county. All these guys, and he's our tax guy in charge of tax. He's a Richard Arnold graduate. Talbot is. So don't get me started about Richard Arnold students.
And then we got you.
Outstanding
Then we got you. Then we got you. You know, so Richard Island got some great people that came out of that. You know, we got you. You know. And
all I can say is this, and I'll be quiet. All night long.
All night.
Okay,
All
let's
night.
move on to these
All
neighborhood
night.
presidents.
oh, Lord.
Let's move on to the neighborhood presidents.
The neighborhood president. Where we got neighborhood presidents on there? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you had neighborhood presidents on there.
okay. Neighborhood presidents gone wild. Wow.
So what is Marsha Buford and Tyrone Ware doing?
They are acting like they are the whole neighborhoods. Where Jimmy J went. They are acting like they're the whole neighborhoods. They're acting like they don't take a vote. They just go and do whatever they want to do. Marsha Buford acted for the whole West Savannah. She said her and her board made the decision to go against the weeping time. Her and her board, not the community. Her and her board. That's the letter she wrote. Not the community, just her and her board. And she said it. I did. She said it. And then Tyrone Ware got busted out in the Woodsville Community Neighborhood Association. He the president of that. And the Alderman woman went there and asked them, how could y'all side against the weeping time? And they told her, the secretary stood up and said, we never voted on the weeping time, one way or the other. That was our president acting like the lone wolf.
Wow. Well,
So-
see,
Wow, that's not good.
that's not good. But now over in it's twofold. First of all, the people in those neighborhoods need to become more active in their neighborhood associations. You know, They need to, when there is a situation like this going on in your neighborhood, they need to be more like the people over there in what's that neighborhood association, Jay, in the 5th district.
Oh, the Fifth District Coalition. You talking about what?
No, not the
Which
coalition.
one?
Liberty City. They need to be active like the Liberty City neighborhood association. Those are some,
Ken Park, Jackson Park.
yes, or Can Park, Jackson Park.
I
Those
agree
are
with
some
that.
very active neighborhood associations, and you're not going to get anything past them because they pile up into their in there, and when there's some situations going on, oh, they own it. So that's the way those people need to be in that area.
So
Well,
let
should
me
they
let
be
me hit
removed?
let me hear
Go
this. Let
ahead.
me get this
Hell
straight,
yeah.
Julia. Let me get this straight now. So the secretary said that she acted as a lone wolf in that situation.
That Tyrone Ware acted as a lone wolf in that situation. She
Okay.
said they never told Tyrone Ware to send that letter, never told him that they were with him with Woodsville being against the Weeping Time and wanting the Salvation Army to be built there. They never told him to do anything. He did it on his own. You know he's a vain little flunky anyway. Um, but and he told me about 4 years ago that nothing could ever be built there because it had a termite problem, and
Well,
and that was a big
the
lie.
termite
Yeah,
problem would only termite problem would only persist if the building was in structure. It wouldn't have anything to do.
well, he said
I mean,
the whole site was. We had an argument one day in the West Savannah neighborhood association meeting, and I was asking them why couldn't this gym and everything be built since the city owned the property? Why can't the gym be built there? Because they were looking for a new site to build a gym and rec center. And so we said, why don't you put Hudson Hill, West Savannah together? You got 10 acres, put a grand facility there like everybody else got. No, they want to go and build little $1 million buildings on Hudson Hill, a little $1 million building in West Savannah instead of building a grand $5 million building for all of them to enjoy. So Tyrone jumped up and said, we can't do that because the site is termite infested and nothing can be built there. It's against the HUD. And then they told us HUD owned. HUD said that they don't own it. HUD said that it was quick deeded to the city of Savannah. So that's a big lie. So city of Savannah owned the property the whole time, but they keep blaming it on HUD that HUD got it and it couldn't be nothing done with it. So it's a bunch of lies. We have a bunch of people in positions of leadership that are being deceptive, and that's what it's all about.
I gotta get a copy of this quick claim deed too.
Well, see, the Weeping Time Coalition got all the stuff you need.
Okay.
The attorneys got it. Everybody got it now. So there'll be some action done in it after a while. But you can't have these neighborhood association presidents doing what they want to do. It's about your organization. It's about you taking a vote. It's about you polling the people. See, they went out and they had a couple of other. I don't want to call them names because some of them been my lifelong friends. Um,
You gonna do
uh,
it
Oh,
like that now?
oh.
no, I got to talk about the president, and the president had them go do it. So
Okay.
they went around with a little petition to people that and was telling people lies. Yes, you did tell the people lies because people told me what you told. So they went around with the petition telling people lies, getting people to sign the petition under false pretenses.
Well, what was the
And the
lie?
people signed the petition, so they carried the petition back to Marsha Butte, not in a meeting, and they took her the petition of people. That was a counter petition also, but they didn't give that up because they didn't want those people's voices to be heard. They only gave the ones that they uh, was in their favor for building the Salvation Army. But the people who signed the petition against the Salvation Army, their voices weren't heard, and their petition was never seen. So you can't have neighborhood association presidents doing that. Marshall Buford has to go, and Tyrone Ware definitely has to go.
Now my
That's
question
my.
to you, my question to you is, if they go, who do you put in that place? I mean,
It don't matter. You put Donald Duck in that damn place.
y'all keep saying that, but we keep putting
Well,
Donald
you
Duck, and
talking
then
about
Donald
neighborhood
Duck do the same.
association. You
Yeah,
see, you
yeah.
talking about neighborhood association presidents. You ain't talking about the mayor of the city, and
These
you talking
things
about
feed these
anybody that
things,
can lead this thing
Julius.
except them. It don't
These
matter.
things,
It could be
Julius.
Donald
These
Duck or
people
Daffy
feed.
Duck.
Julius, these people feed into the bigger structure. You can
Yeah.
say all you want, and how Savannah is built, those neighborhood associations play hard weight into what's going on. And so if you don't address these neighborhood associations and make sure that they get built up with people from the community, not the chosen few, then you're gonna keep having these problems, brother.
You
You can
correct.
say what you want.
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct about that. But they got people that they're planning on putting in. I can tell you this: in that meeting that day, 16 people joined in protest of what she did. 16 people joined that last meeting. All of them was lined up against the wall. All of them in the same color or something. I think they all had black on or something, and they
Yeah, but
all was there in protest of what she's doing, and they're going to vote her out.
and I'm proud of that, but my thing is, those 16 people got to hang around to that point when the election comes around. We
That's
all
correct.
we all come when we in protest mode, but when we need to be in mode, that's when we don't show up, and that's my issue. That's what we got to make sure that they stay in the gate to make sure when it come time to vote her behind out, if that's the case, vote her behind out. But if we don't show up when it's time,
I
then
tell
we
you,
just talking.
I tell you what's going on, and y'all guys know exactly what's going on. Is that people do not step up to the plate, and they decided to say they're not going to be there. They don't know what's going on, out of mind, out of touch,
Out of
and
sight,
they
out of
said
mind.
we can do what we need to do, and this what we gonna do, and that's what happened. I hope this will eye open them, and they open their eyes and do something about it now.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Well, anybody else got any say on that? No say,
Hey,
then we'll go on to the next subject then. Mass up, be turned away, or laid down. You can mass up. They got new policies now. If you don't show your card, then you be turned away. And if you don't go get that shot, they say you're gonna be laid in the grave. So y'all take it from there.
you know what? I'm gonna say this here. There's a couple people that I personally know, right? Done had the shot, done had it twice, and still had got corona. Still got it, still sick. So I'm like you said, to be honest, I'm gonna be straight on. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. And I'm one person, and ain't nobody gonna change my mind. I ain't got the shot. I will not get the shot. I'm gonna put my faith in God like I always had in my life, and I'm gonna move on with that. And who don't like it, I really don't care. At the end of the day, I wear my mask where I need to wear my mask before me getting the shot or whatever. Hey, this how I feel. It is what it is, because at the end of the day, you got so many different stories up there in Washington, D.C. You got this and you got that. Washington, D.C. right now is a hot mess. The people who telling us something is a hot mess. They ain't telling us the truth. So I'm telling you right now, everybody who on this panel, just stay prayed up. Just stay prayed up. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to say again, if somebody tells me that the people that are in the hospital, 98% of them are unvaccinated people. Unvaccinated.
Who said that?
That's what the reports are.
The reports are.
That's what the
But
report.
that's the only information we gonna get, Bernard.
That's
We can make up numbers ourselves. We can't make the numbers up. We got to get it from them.
Listen, at the end of the day, those numbers may not even be like it is.
But we can't. We got. But those are the numbers that we got to go by.
Well, hey, those are numbers.
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. We all like this panel, Mr. Brown, not my hero, Mr. Brown, the other Mr. Brown. You claim that your disclaimer is you don't know what's in that vaccination, right?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say I didn't know.
He didn't say that. He didn't say
I didn't
that.
say that. I said I wasn't gonna take it. I said I was gonna leave it to my God. And that's what I said. I didn't say what was in it. I don't know what's in it.
I thought you were saying that. Okay, because I was gonna give you a fact. I call them fun facts. No, we're gonna deviate away from that statement. And I'm gonna say this here. There's been links to foods that we eat every day. We don't know what's in that food, but we eat it every day.
True.
I was born in 1965 when they gave us a vaccinated shot for every kid
I got the same one.
north and then down south. So my understanding is this right here. You have that right to say, like, I'm not gonna do it, I'm gonna believe in God, so on and so forth. But when you strongly say stuff like that, you got to retract the fact that, listen, we all have our own beliefs.
I got to retract the fact that I don't listen. Hey, this is my body. I put what I want to put on my body. Don't tell me I got to retract.
No, I said for you.
Retract. No,
I'm
saying
he didn't say it that way, bro.
I will do. You do what you want to do.
You're taking it wrong. You're taking it out of the context of what I'm saying.
That's just my opinion. That's just my
opinion.
Hey,
brother Bernard, could you just let him finish the statement? Could you just let him finish the statement for me, so I can hear it? I understand what you're saying. I know what you're defending. Can you just let him finish the statement, brother?
We good. It's irrelevant.
Charlie Brown like to speak for a minute.
Yeah,
I had COVID-19 or whatever they want to call it. I would not wish it on the worst enemy. It did me so bad and beat me up. When they say they came out with a vaccination, I ran and took it. I'm telling you, I prayed to God. I said, God, if you spare me this time, I will try. No, I didn't say try to God. I say I'll live right, God, from now on. I might them backtrack just a little bit, but I've been trying to live right.
And being 50, 60 years younger than Charlie Brown, I agree with him.
Hey, wait a damn minute. I don't normally curse.
Being 50, 60 years younger than Charlie Brown, I caught COVID, and it hit me, Julius.
Oh,
Julius,
I had it too.
It put me. It put me on my back for 3 weeks. And I don't wish it. I don't wish it on nobody 56 years older than me like Charlie Brown, because it really can be effective in you. And I heard you, Bernard. You had it too. And I think everybody misses the fact it's a virus that affects your lungs. It's a virus that affects your lungs. And the remedy of the virus only affects you worse if depending on how you exercise your lungs. If you're a person who is an avid mover, thinker, whatever case may be, it won't affect you as bad. And don't smoke. It don't affect you as bad as somebody who does do the exercise and does all that stuff like that.
And pre-existing conditions.
And my thing, it hurt me so bad, Bernard, because guess what? My pre-existing condition is I'm a pre-diabetic, and I went from pre-diabetic to diabetic in 1 week's time because of COVID. And so I don't, I joke and play and everything like that, but I don't wish that on my worst enemy, because I don't even think it's fair.
I tell you what, you don't have to take the shot, and I don't blame you, Bernard. I'm saying to any other ones of the viewers who listen to the podcast tonight, please put on masks when you go out. Protect yourself, protect your family, because COVID is no joke, and it's taking away brothers and sisters out of here. Look around the country. They're not making this stuff up. Y'all guys be careful. I'm not saying don't put on a mask. I'm fine. I mean, not a mask. Don't take the shot, but put a mask on, please. Protect yourself, protect your loved ones. Go around them with a mask on.
And
I'm saying take the shot, because if you take the shot and you get COVID, it's a 99% chance that you're not going to, you're going to survive. You're not going in the hospital. You're going to survive, and it's going to be like a cold for you. Whereas somebody else, it's a 50% chance that they're not going to survive. So I love Bernard. I love him, but I believe that he's playing Russian roulette. And I don't naturally, I've
Say
never
stuff like
put a
that.
gun to my head. And I would never put a gun to my child's head. And I move around this city too much, So why would I be going around knowing that I could inadvertently be around somebody and bring something into my household that
And
might
I
kill
think the
my son?
expanded conversation needs to become this. It's not COVID-19 Alpha, it's COVID-19 Delta now. And so it's a variant, it's in its fourth variant. And what's happening in this fourth variant is starting to affect kids. Where in previous variants, it didn't bother kids. It didn't touch kids. Because you didn't even hear about COVID variant beta or COVID variant alpha, beta, gamma. You didn't hear about that. But now you're hearing about COVID variant Delta or Delta variant. And so what it's telling you is this is the code that's changing the game. Because it's four mutation, it took the third mutation for it to start changing. And so what we got to do is we got to keep abreast, because it could be COVID Zeta or COVID Epsilon. It can be one of those other variants, and that can be the nasty one. And guess what? It's too late because your body didn't build the immunity to the vaccination, because the vaccination takes over time where it actually helps and works in your system.
But you know what? But you know what this is? Okay, I mean, the way y'all giving the history about it, it's a lot of people don't even know what y'all just talked about. So it's more like, go get to our community and talk about it, because a lot of people don't know. They get facts from cutting on the TV or whatever. But what you just said, Jay, and everybody on here, a lot of people don't know. There's some of the things what you just said I didn't know, but I'm like this here. I mean, everybody on this panel have a different opinion about things. I'm not telling people not to make masks. I'm not telling nobody don't get the shot. I'm not telling anybody that. So I don't want people to say that Bernard say don't do it. No, I'm not. I'm just saying me personally, right? Because this is a fake. Everybody body different. I had it. I didn't go through what everybody went through because I'm very active, and it was just like I blowed it off like that. But at the end of the day, everybody is totally different. So what happened to me may not happen to you. So that's what I'm just saying. I don't want nobody to take it the wrong way.
And brother Jamar had it also. So, and he fought it, and he was on the he fought it. He was going through his shows, drinking his tea, but he's just active. That's why it didn't bother him as bad. But you want to tell us about your experience, Jamar?
Did you have your nut juice?
It has saved me, girl. Sister has saved me. It has saved me. Like I share with folks that, and I should share this with y'all. I got a call one day. I was in Kroger's, get me some nuts for my nut juice, and got a call. It was from the Georgia Department of Public Health. So they're not interviewing me about what I experienced regarding COVID, and it was like 2 months later, and I'm like, y'all just not calling me. They was like, yeah, we backed up. This is what they said. This literally said we backed up. And so then they asked him the symptoms. So I said, no, I didn't have that, didn't have that, didn't have that. Then I said, what symptoms did you have? So I began to let them know the symptoms. And they said, wow, we've not talked to anyone that has talked about the symptoms that you had. The night sweat, the corona, what they call coronasomnia, having delusional thinking. And I tell folks, I said, also had delusional dreams. I said severe appetite suppression, and it was physiological and psychological. Then also erectile dysfunction, ED, I said for the men, ED comes into play. So those are the things, and then also you now began to have a mental component too, where especially when you're by yourself and you're in your house by yourself, then that isolation takes a toll on you. That now you're like, you don't even want to talk to anybody. And I shared this with Kim Gusby. I told Kim had sent me a text message that like wanted to follow up on me and something. I'm like, why Kim calling me? Why Kim texting me? You know, I don't even want to talk to Kim. I'm like, literally, I don't want to talk. And the food that my daughter had ordered for me to be brought to the house on the porch, and I bring the food in the house, and then my mind tells me to throw that food out and throw that food in the trash. That's when I'm like, yo, this thing is, and I know better than that. And so I tell folks it was, and when I'm telling folks at the Department of Public Health, they're stunned. I say, but here, what the deal is, I say, y'all not telling us about this right here. There's other elements. So there are people who probably experienced elements of COVID, did not realize it. And so then they become the carriers to now taking other people because you're not thinking that you get some nice sweats. Cause I'm talking literally one night I'm in the bed, I wake up and I'm like sweating. That's on the edge of the bed. I'm sweating even more. So then I go walk in my bathroom. Like I told folks, it was like I was playing basketball in Savannah. It's 100 degrees outside. I had sweat pouring off of me. Then I had to look and I had to find all that information out myself. It was not in any of the media outlets or like Bernard saying that there was nothing put out there. And so I didn't have to go through that. And then that's when I realized the analogy about with my immune system being so suppressed. It was suppressed because it was trying to fight, as Jay was throwing out there, it is trying to fight this disease. So now that's why diabetes, obesity, hypertension, high cholesterol, all that is not left to themselves. So now they can go like, they're like, the diabetes say, we pre-diabetic right now, but guess what? We can be diabetic because his immune system ain't even concerned about us no more. And so it's real. So I tell folks, and like Charlie, that like you don't want anybody to get it, and so that's why even with me, I had to modify some things because again, I like my mother. I got my mother, I got my sister, got my daughter. Me and my daughter I used to kiss my daughter every time when I'm leaving her or something like that. Now due to COVID, I don't even do that because I'm like saying, hey, because I know I'm in downtown Savannah. I'm around tourists who don't have no concern. They ain't trying to wear no mask. If they don't have to wear a mask, they don't want to wear the mask. And even when people talk to them about wearing the mask, and now I'm gonna take it to another level on something. I tell folks this. I said, listen, in the service industries, as y'all was sharing, the service industries in Savannah is predominantly African Americans doing the work. So you got somebody coming from Florida, somebody coming from Texas, who was saying they ain't had to wear no mask and they done been exposed to COVID. They've been on an airplane. So now they sitting around our people who live right here, who are working, doing the tables, doing the rooms, all that. They're not exposing them. They don't want to wear masks. I said, guess what happened? They not leaving, go back to Florida, go back to Texas. But guess what? Those people are still here with us. And so now they infect some of us. And I tell folks, it's much larger than you. It's about making sure that all of us protected and safe. So yeah, because I'm like, it's insane. And I tell folks, my COVID exposure was tied to somebody not sanitizing a place that I thought should have been a safe place. And so now I go into my car and pretty much I'm not taking that based on saying that pollution with me into the car. Where now I think I can take my mask off and all that. That showed me right there. I can't be safe in my own doggone house or in my own doggone car, being around places where they don't sanitize the place. So it's absolutely dangerous.
And the number one
Just a second. I'm gonna just say this. No, I was just gonna say this. I was just gonna say, I heard what he said. I lost not only my taste buds, my smell. I could not smell nothing at all. I could not smell, and I did have, I don't know what kind of illusions I had, but I had it going on at night. I woke up, and that's why I started crying, because I felt like I was dying. I was falling down in a valley and couldn't get out the valley. I'm telling you, man.
Well, and what Teray was saying earlier is because those people are around those people all the time, their immune system is stronger than the normal immune system. So therefore, a trait like a COVID-19 won't be a dominant trait. It'll be a recessive trait, meaning they're a carrier, but aren't contagious. And then they come around us who don't have that built up immune system, and we can become contagious from a carrier, a recessive carrier, and that's very important that we don't really talk about in our community about
But
how that plays a part.
I like one thing he said, that ED thing, that's dangerous. Let me.
It won't be all night long, Charlie Brown.
And they said the number one places they said that you catching this thing from now, said it's to watch out for gas stations and doorknobs.
Correct.
Everybody got to get your gas, and you don't touch those doorknobs. So y'all just be careful on how you open those doors and how you pump your gas. And Brother Brown got a lip leg. We're gonna move on to we got but 7 or 8 more minutes. We're gonna move on to the next thing. Who do you believe? 4 more of the ladies. We got but 3 minutes on this. So anybody want to take it up.
I believe the ladies.
You know what? Those I think those Trump people behind all this, because you remember when him and Trump was going at it over and over again, they just came up with some. At the beginning, wasn't here none of this. There's those Trump people, and they run the wrong way. And then at the end of the day, I always say, what you do in the dark, come to light. And it is I mean, some of them, if you got that many women, a couple of them telling the truth.
Yeah, I do believe that a couple of them might be telling the truth.
I think, and I promise I'm gonna say good night to you guys, but I'm gonna say this. I think this man was gonna run for president or be a future candidate, and they want to destroy him. And it come from, like Mr. Brown say, Trump people are behind it, part of it. And I think the rest may be jumping on the bandwagon because they want to try to manipulate him to do some things that he didn't, because he's a pretty strong governor. His daddy was a governor. His daddy ran for president. I'm telling you, there's a conspiracy to get this good Democrat candidate to make a walkway for Republicans to come back or try to come back in. I'm just letting you know.
Julius Hall, you see how he tried to talk in the third person but dropped his name in there? That's all I want to say. Y'all see how he dropped the third, like Mr. Brown said, but we thought he was talking about Bernard Brown, but he was talking about Charlie Brown. You see that? I just want to make sure I caught that. And I'm still in charge of his GoFundMe account.
Oh no!
I know, Charlie, you was talking about Bernard. I know you was talking about Bernard,
Julius,
Charlie.
they gonna take over the show. Julius, they can say what they want. Please, if you don't know, donate to my GoFund.
There you go.
A chicken in every pot. I promise you. Thank you.
And I promise you, 90% of the proceeds will not go to Charlie Brown.
Listen, in Cuomo's defense, the only thing I can say in Cuomo's defense is that they showed a bunch of pictures today that he did the men the same way. The exact same way.
So you say he bisexual?
I don't know.
I don't feel like he's bisexual.
He did the men the same way. He said he loved to give embraces. And I would say this here, though. The last person that needed to have been telling them to resign should have been Joe Biden.
Exactly. As
Joe
much as
Biden
Joe
should have said,
Biden is smelling folk hair and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
Joe Biden should have said, I don't have an opinion.
Exactly.
I can't do that. I don't know what you're jumping in that for. Joe, you the last person should have been in there.
Man.
That was the first thing I said when I saw Joe Biden say he should resign. If I'm the president of the United States, I wouldn't have gotten to that conversation.
And you know what? Joe Biden, what he need to have a doggone opinion on is
he don't have it though.
It is that dude that's holding up the vote on the
and like I said, he don't have it. The one who holding up the vote for you talking about out of West Virginia, holding up the vote.
No man.
Yeah. Yes. That's what he need to have a doggone opinion on.
Like Jay said, and Jay Jones said, we can get around.
This is Jimmy J. Jay Jones is not here tonight.
No, Jay Jones they said.
Oh, when did Jay Jones say this?
Jay Jones said it a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Just hold on 1 second.
Okay, I apologize.
Jay Jones said a couple of weeks ago, you can get around Manchin if you just, in these upcoming elections, put some Democratic senators in there and you say, damn Manchin. Correct? And you say that in one of your posts.
I think
That's
that
right.
was Jimmy J that said that, but he was in the body of Jay Jones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. However it went, they really need to. I mean, because we sent them there to make some changes, and if it's just going to be more of the same, come on, man.
It is. It
Well,
is. It's more chaos
You know,
now.
I have not been impressed at all.
Yeah, you're
With
right.
what's going on, and if they don't do anything about this voters' rights, that voters' rights bill.
that's
I
what
mean,
Joe Biden should have said. Joe should have said, I don't have an opinion of that. But when
Why
you
he didn't
talk
talk
about
about the opinion of Joe Manchin?
right, you know,
Did y'all heard? This what I heard. Did y'all hear that the three of the officers that were in that interaction by in January,
Community
three
committed
of them
suicide.
committed suicide?
yes,
Yes.
yeah, it was four of
Come
them.
on now.
It was four.
No, the
All
fourth
three
one
of
just
them
happened.
committed suicide.
Yeah,
That's
and
BS.
two of them happened on the same day.
That's correct.
Come on. Now what that tell y'all? What that tell y'all now?
Okay.
It sound like a
Republicans
state
don't
case to
have
me.
any compassion. And we already know that. Republicans don't have the capacity to have compassion.
Nope.
Yeah.
They don't. They're void of compassion. If you're a Republican, you are void of compassion.
Well,
I've
I
never met
consider
a Republican that felt good about anybody else doing something good. The the only Republican I ever liked was George Bush. Bush.
What that was the first one.
W. No, the son.
The second one.
That's the only Republican.
Man,
Yeah.
George W. Bush was dumb as four bricks. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I like
Teray was
George.
trying to say something.
I
Yeah,
like.
and you
Julius.
kind of liked him because he was
Julius.
so dumb.
Julius,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't believe you say that.
yeah. I
Because
like
guess who
George
else
W.
liked
Bush
him a
was
little
dumb as four
bit?
bricks.
who that.
I like him a little bit because he was so goofy. Like I kind of like him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was just.
When you said that, when you said that, the first thing came to me was when 9/11 happened and how he was staring at the book and couldn't read no more, and he did not act. That's the first thing come to me when you say George
Yeah.
W. Bush.
Yeah.
George
the
W.
first thing
Bush
to
didn't do
me-
absolutely nothing.
The first thing came to me is when the buildings fell and he went there and he said, "You don't hear me now, but you gonna hear me. You gonna feel me in a minute."
I think Forrest Gump could have did a better job than George W.
Well,
Bush.
gentlemen, you got a special guest, Jay, on here tonight. Appreciate having you. I'm a little upset at Teray, and he know why, because he made a statement. He say it would not be all night long. That thing hurt me real bad. He hurt me. He hurt me. He hurt me bad, Julius. I've never thought my friend would hurt me like that.
I'm gonna say,
I
One
didn't
more
say I
time.
like George Bush's policy. I said I liked the George Bush. I ain't never
Yeah,
say I like his
the
policy.
person.
Ain't no Republican
Right.
that's
The
going to have
policy.
any policies that I'm like. So
Now,
no, I'm
Julius,
not
you
talking
didn't-
policy, Chuck.
you didn't
I'm
say you
talking
like
about
his
the only
policy.
person, a Republican that I've ever liked as a Republican is George Bush. I don't give a damn about his policies.
Right.
All these presidents is some bullshit.
He was comedy, and I like him, but I didn't care much for his policy either.
He
Doesn't
didn't
care
have
about
much.
his
He didn't have much
period.
policy, Charlie.
Period. Cheney was the president at that time. Nobody cared about.
Cheney was making
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
Oh, heck yes.
I like
With
the George
Gilbert
Bush,
and everything, hell yeah.
Obama, Michelle, and Barack love dumb George. I like dumb George also. The motherfucker better not say nothing. Excuse my French.
Get him,
Not
Shonda.
say nothing about Michelle, because if you say something about Michelle, he gonna fight you for Barack.
Okay.
Oh, you right.
I'm gonna say good night, right, Jill? So
Yeah, that's about it. We got a few other observances that we want to say. Don't forget the GoFundMe fund for. We got the moratorium on evictions. I think the president issued a stay on that, didn't he?
So
Today.
it was 90 days or 60
Well,
days?
90 or 60 days. That'll be long enough for you to.
But But I want to point this piece out. There was a judge that stepped out and jumped in there and showed local politics could do that too. And I had a long conversation with somebody in reference to that. We need to understand local politics, and what I mean by that, county, state, federal, whatever you call it, local politics can get into those conversations too. And we don't see enough of that where our local politicians have those conversations and say, okay, what can we do to slow the curve on that? Because I had a heated discussion about the moratorium because they wanted to, some people said the landlords were turning down the money because it was better, more beneficial for them to be able to turn down the money. They can sell a property, and so they didn't want to take the money. You had all kind of other conversations out there in reference to this whole moratorium. And so my thing is, I think that we need to do a deeper dive on this. Part of it is on government. I think government has a large part on it. And when I say government, I'm not just talking about federal. I'm talking about federal, state, and local government, because there should be some kind of cooperation between the three to make sure that we put the right policy and procedures out there to hold people accountable. And we just don't want to just be divvying out this money and just giving it away, and it doesn't go to the right places where it needs to go either. And so I don't want us to just skate over this, because it's a very, very, very important piece when we talk about these evictions. Because I'm telling you now, if that stay wouldn't have happened, it was going to be some people on the street, because it's probably about 500 to 600 in Chatham County, 500 to 600 eviction notices ready to be served right now.
And think about how it's going to impact the children, because those people are not just adults, on their own. Those people come with, most times, these are single women and their children, and I mean, a eviction on children and older people, here in Houston, they were putting out a lady. She was like 60 some years old, just sitting her stuff out on the street, and it was horrible,
And Shonda, what I got beat up on was this. Now, there are some cases, and I'll go on the record to say this. There are some cases where people, instead of paying that rent, they went to the mall and bought them new J's, bought them new Pradas, bought brand new cars and everything under the sun. And now when it's come time to pay the money, they ain't got what they need to pay the money. And so I do want it understood that it's messed up on both sides of the conversation.
Some people need to step up and take the responsibility, and they didn't.
But Charlie Brown, who best suited to take responsibility of that is local government. Because local government can look into that.
No, I was saying some of the people step up and take responsibility. They didn't have to go buy cars, iPhones, and things of that nature. I mean, come on, we can rationalize all day for some of them, but some of them wasn't in that position.
I'm not disputing. And Charlie, I fight for those people who really, truly were trying to work, trying to make it happen. And guess what? They got caught up in the system, and the system failed them. I fight for those people. But I do want it understood that there are other people out there who are taking advantage of the system and getting over too.
Yeah, but when you look at a place like Savannah, and even a place like Houston,
I know where you're going,
where the rent is going up so high till people can't afford. Once you get 2 months behind on $1,000,
you're talking about $2,000 or $5,000, because some rents are high.
Yes, I mean, how do you catch up? When all you're making is $9 an hour, how do you catch up on a rent like that? And especially when they're going, first of all, they need to get a rent cap in these places where they have low paying wages. So
that's
rent,
local government.
Yeah, that's local government that can do this. And then they have these slumlords, like the place right there on the corner. What is it? Oak Forest. The place right there on what is it? Duran and Skidaway. or LaRoche, Durin and LaRoche.
I know what you're talking
It's
about.
called Oak Forest,
Forest.
or whatever. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
They-
Down near Savannah State.
Yeah, the man is nothing but a slumlord. He got those little $500 apartments, but he's not doing he's not doing any upgrades or anything. You know, he's just taking these people money, but he knows that they have nowhere to go, because where can you go in Savannah?
Nowhere.
You can't go anywhere.
How
And
about
he
y'all read
knows
the,
this.
how about y'all read the chat, please?
I just read the chat. It says, "No child left behind. What a legacy." That was a legacy of George W. Bush.
That's
I just read the chat.
You read the comments. You didn't read.
Oh,
the chat.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Me and Charlie didn't say we loved his policies. We didn't say he had any damn legacy. We said we liked him because he was just a nice guy.
Goofy. I say he was goofy, but
He said he was goofy. You said he was nice. It's two different conversations.
Yeah, well, same thing.
No, but they put words in my mouth. I say he was goofy, but he was nice. I like George W. Bush. Okay, and I'm not changing it for no damn one with headphones on.
Pick one you like that was the Republican.
And you heard it here. This is Jay Jones on behalf of the GoFundMe account for Charlie Brown. 90% will go to anybody but Charlie Brown.
Anybody but Charlie. Jay, anybody but Charlie. Anybody but Charlie.
Shout out to all the women, Alicia Miller Blakely and Keisha Gibson Carter. All the women, Alicia Blakely and Keisha Gibson Carter. They had their town hall yesterday, and we appreciate them giving that information to
Mr. Brown.
And we know that they're planning a bigger one later. So we want to also give I don't know what they call that when you give the thumbs down to somebody. You getting a shout out to one,
No confidence. What?
Yeah, badge of no confidence to Heath Lloyd.
Vote of no confidence.
A vote of no confidence for Heath Lloyd for not supplying them with what they needed to put that event on. And he's the city manager now with no balls. You need to go get some of that damn nut juice from Dr. Torre.
Exactly. Ship him some nut juice.
But if y'all want to catch the town hall, you can go and catch it on All Things Relevant Media on Facebook, and you can get it at ATR Black Media Network on YouTube. And we got a special feature coming in the next, I believe it's probably before we get it all started, it'll be September 1st. All our shows will be airing 2 or 3 times, just like Roland Martin is doing his. Our platform has installed this new app and device that we can play our shows without even being there. So now we can play this show here. It'll show 3 hours later.
I thought it was starting tomorrow. I thought it was starting tomorrow. I could
do yours. It's already working, so I can do yours now. You know, I can start doing yours on a day that there ain't no shows. What I'll probably do is schedule all our shows to run back to back to back.
Oh, cool.
Julius, before I say good night to everyone, Jay Jones got some big balls. Would you hold them up, please, Jay? See, that man got big kahuna. That man got big balls.
This is the normal size.
Now show him the big balls.
No, this is the normal size.
Right. Now, see, that man got balls, all right? Y'all keep that in mind.
And this is Jay Jones, Jimmy J, on behalf of the GoFundMe account for Charlie Brown. We're making sure you understand that 90% will not go to Charlie Brown.
Somebody just texted me and said they couldn't get on. They were trying to give. How did they go in the GoFundMe to get to Charlie Brown?
What they need
you
to
got
take.
People want to give for real.
They need to text me and I'll make sure I set it up for them.
No.
All right. Anyway.
Shout out to Dr. Torre for running for school board president, and so. What? Didn't leave? What? Don't be shy. Tell the people. Tell the people how they can give.
When you having your first campaign meeting, we need to be sitting down because we own it.
I said that we had to talk to Julius Hall. I got to talk with Julius Hall, and so
Yeah,
that
we own it.
because now also just like last week, I tried to show people I was in Bluffton, I was on St. Helena, I was down in Brunswick. I had to let people understand Jamal just don't belong to Savannah. Jamal is not just Savannah. Jamal is regional. So, and that's why some things we had to talk about. So Julius Hall, I talked with Julius Hall. He got a lot of stuff going on, so that's why I'll be talking to Julius Hall. Then that's where we have some conversation. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So it's
All
not
right.
set in stone yet.
Oh yeah, it's
So
set in stone from what those people told me. His two advisors. He got two advisors that say it's set in stone. So they told me, the two advisors told me, don't
yeah,
don't wait for no. I'm gonna tell you one thing, Charlie Brown. You could be a witness to this. Don't wait for, because see, me and Jay Jones went looking for somebody for the 8th district because there was nobody to run because our candidate backed out, and then when our candidate came back, somebody else had done stepped in. But if he'd have stayed in there, that candidate would have never been approached.
You're right.
So now we got a seat with no representation. And that's my friend, but I'm being truthful and honest. We got a seat with no representation. So don't wait.
All I see is that representation.
All right. Got taxation, we know that. I don't know about no representation. And Dr. Robert Bryant, he's running for the 5th district school board seat also. So we got these two brothers in mind, and we going to the door with both of them. I am.
All right.
All right. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Share. Don't forget, our shows will be on. You'll be able to catch them over and over. So if you miss them without having to go, you'll be getting an update telling you that it's coming on 4 hours later or whatever. So that's a new feature that we got, and we coming with it relatively soon. All right. So I want to thank y'all. I'll talk with you all this week. Don't forget our shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think we off tomorrow. We got shows coming on Thursday in the next 2 weeks. I think we got 2 or 3 shows starting on Thursdays because Thursday is our open day. All right?
All right. I just want to say this. Good night. And remember, all night long. And don't pay Dr. Torre no mind. All night long.
You recovered, so you all fine. You fine right now.
Julius, I saw you no good, Julius.
Good night, y'all.
Did you recover from that?
Huh?
I want to know if he recovered from that. You recovered from that.
He don't know. He ain't even had time to try it out yet. Bye.